Hi there, welcome to Yoga at the Lake with Paula. Tonight I'm going to bring you a nice gentle yoga practice. So if you need any props, just get a hold of them, get your mat, maybe a blanket, a couple of blocks, and a strap if you think you may need those, or anything that you can use that would resemble something like this. So coming to a comfortable seated position that is comfortable for you. So it may be soles of the feet together, sitting on a chair even, or your legs crossed. So as we begin, let's just take our hands gently to the knees and move your shoulders, notice how they feel. And if you like, close your eyes for a moment. And just let the eyelids softly close, taking a moment just to observe how you're feeling. Are you noticing any sensations where you feel like you're a little uncomfortable and you just need to adjust so that as we sit, we become less fidgety? So working our way up through your spine, through your belly, and all the way up through the neck and up through the top of the head, feeling that nice lift upwards. Perhaps turn your palms up and thumb, second finger together. Beginning to draw the focus of the mind gently to the breath as you inhale and exhale, settling in just to your gentle practice for the evening, or perhaps you're starting your day with this gentle practice. Breathing in, breathing out, observing any sounds you may hear. Coming back to your breath, and just see if you can hear your own breath gently in the nose or the back of the throat. Take a deeper breath in, feel like you're just filling up without straining. And then exhale, if you like, through the mouth with a bit of a sigh. And again, filling up a little bit deeper. One more time. Let all the air go. And then gently, if your eyes were closed, open or blink your eyes a little to accustom yourself to the light. Accustom yourself to the light. I'm not sure if that's right, but get used to the light again. Bring your palms down and just gently roll your shoulders forwards and back. Stretch the shoulders. Maybe your arms and elbows come up. Big, nice sort of sweeping motions. Take it around the other way, so you can keep your hands down to your legs if that's easier for you or more comfortable. And just one more. Roll the shoulders back again and out and down, taking your hands to the floor. See if you can just walk them back a little bit. Take a little lean backwards, lift your chest, lift your head, gazing upwards. Feel a little lighter on your seat. And then bring your chin forwards, release your hands and lift your knees up, or if you're not cross-legged, just stretch your legs out and give them a little bit of a rub if they feel like they just need a little warm up there. Sometimes around the knees they get a little tight and stiff. Okay, so we are going to extend our legs out in front if they weren't already so, and circle the feet. So round they go. You may hear some cranking, creaking, cracking of your feet, and maybe my feet. And then the other way. Bend your knees, maybe work a little into the hips. Flex and point. Hold your feet flexed a moment. See if you can sit up a little taller. Maybe you have to bend your knees a little. Hold that. Look at your toes. See what they're doing. Wiggle them. Stretch them. Relax them. And release your legs. Okay. So we're going to take the soles of the feet together, hold on to the ankles, toes or feet. Just draw them up a little more towards your groin. And then gently flutter the legs, lifting up through the chest. And just see how that feels. You're going to use your arms as levers and carefully pull yourself forwards. You may feel it in the groins and thighs, inner thighs. And release back again. Let's take our legs out to a sensible straddle position, sensible for you. Oh, I see some mosquitoes. Taking your hands to the floor. See how far forwards you can go before you feel like your back wants to sort of hunch over and you feel horribly uncomfortable. And then take it back a little bit and keep that nice upward lift through your spine. And just think about focusing on stretching your legs to begin with. Toes reaching upwards to the sky. And then from there, rock forwards a little. See if you can bring your hands out. And you notice a little more stretch in those inner thighs or perhaps behind the knees. Notice my toes and knees are pointing upwards. So yours may feel like you want to roll inwards. Can you roll them back? Feel like your tailbone sinking down to the ground. And obviously if you can come further down, come further down. Sometimes it's handy to use the block if you want to keep that length through the front and back body rather than feeling like you're all hunched over. So you decide if you're going to use your props or not. And let's just bring our chins down a little bit. Go as far forwards as you can, trying to keep your back lengthened. So it's not so much about getting as close to the floor as you can, it's more about keeping some length right now the way we're doing this. Stretching gently without straining. Now, as you take a deeper breath in, we're going to come up a little. Maybe you're on your fingertips. And then as you exhale, see if you can shift your weight forwards again and bring your chin down. And again, lifting up a little as you breathe in and just finding that stretch forwards and down to wherever you can as you exhale. When you're ready, one more time, lifting, maybe lengthening your legs, and exhale, coming forwards and down. Staying here, close your eyes, breathe, notice where you feel the stretch. And maybe you'll become a little closer to the floor just by gravity helping you to stretch forwards without it becoming a struggle. And then inhale, lift up again and slide your hands back towards your legs and carefully, even if to help the legs in with your hands, bring the legs in, soles of the feet together, not quite so close this time. And just with your chin down and your back now rounded, turn this way so you can see, you're going to come forwards, allowing the back to round. It's almost like you're making the shape of a tortoise shell. So coming down with the head. It's like you've got this diamond shape between your legs here. Your head's hanging down, you're breathing gently, you're stretching all the way up through your spine, a little bit into the hips and legs. Breathe, hang, let go. Relax your belly, your shoulders. Breathe. And inhale to bring yourself back up. And again, just stretch your legs out again. If you like, bend the knees and stretch them one at a time out and up off the floor. And let's come over onto knees and shins. So bring yourself around, taking your fingers and thumbs out, stretched nice and wide, and just feel the floor beneath you. And look at your knees, separate the knees a little. Draw your belly in, like you're hugging your belly in a little here. Just rock a little side to side. And then make a little more movement with your hips from right to left, like windshield wipers. And you can just gaze towards each side that you're moving to. Be careful not to pop the hip out to one side if you feel like that's something that you may do. You don't want to hear a popping in the hips, but you want to feel a stretch, obviously. And then take your hands just a little bit further out and see if you can start to circle around. So making some circles with the hips, having a little bit of a shift around in the rib cage each side, and it's like you're doing a little bit of a cat-cow stretch as you circle your body around. And then take it the other way. So make sure you're breathing as you move. It can be very small if you prefer. It might be a little bigger for some of you. And that breath may be a little deeper as well. So can you increase the depth of your breath? And one more time round. Sort of wind it back in again. And then take your hands back just so the wrists are under the shoulders. Let's tuck our toes and stretch the toes. Drop the shoulders back and away from the ears. Hug your belly in so you're not sinking right now down to the ground and arching the back. Just keep that nice, strong, supportive belly. And then you're going to bring your chin up and you're going to lift your tailbone. Now let your back arch. Stretch your belly, your chest, and then exhale, reverse that. And if you prefer, lower your toes down. And let's just work through these cat-cow stretches, inhaling as we look up. Soften those elbows a little as you tuck your head and tailbone, and exhale the other way. Just 3 or 4 more times at your own pace. Breathing in to look up, breathing out as you look down. See where notice where you're stretching your body as you do this. Add a little bit of a rock forwards and back. You don't need to be too sort of rigid with any of the movements. So as you begin to find your own flow, your body will begin to open up and become a little more flexible. Let's do one more time. Inhale. Finish with an exhalation. Press your hands to the floor. Tuck your chin. Draw your belly in. Tuck your tailbone and hold 3, 2, 1. And release back to more of a neutral spine. And then we'll come to a child's pose. So let's take the knees out to the edges of the mat. Bring your toes together and see how far you can sit back. So can you sit back to your heels? If that's just too much for your knees, you can always put a pillow under you or one of your blocks. Otherwise, just keep your bottom a little lifted, or back you go. Cross your arms, forehead down on them or the floor. And take a good deep breath in. See if you can sort of take that breath down to the belly, filling up. And exhaling out through the nose or the mouth. Twice more. Quite deeply now. Yeah, go. Empty out your lungs. And then lift your head as you breathe back at a natural, normal pace again. See if you can bring your knees a little more parallel and extend your child's pose stretch. So taking your arms out in front, a little bit wider than shoulders so you don't feel like you're smushed in. You want to open out here. Open the chest, open between the shoulder blades. Lengthening, lowering your head, reaching your hips back. Let's take 3 deeper breaths in and out again. So inhale, exhale 1, inhale 2, exhale 2, inhale 3, exhale 3. Relax the breath, the elbows, the arms. Just cross the hands in front a moment. And then lift your head. And let's come back up to the knees. Lifting your chest up now and your hands up. You're going to step the right foot forwards. If you need to put your arms back again to do that, you can. Otherwise, just taking this right leg out in front Now here, some of you may find blocks handy as we stretch the leg. So if you feel like it's a little bit tricky to get to the floor, you can always use blocks or books or something where you bring the floor up. So bring the floor to yourself. And then maybe some of you can take that back leg behind you a little further. So you're not on the shin as much, but a little bit lighter on that back leg. And hands on the blocks or the floor, you're going to feel the stretch somewhere around here probably. And we'll all feel it slightly differently. So you're going to try and bring your back thigh forwards and down to the ground. And don't worry if you're here, you know, whatever you're doing is good. So coming forwards. Let's see if we can lift our chests away from the thigh and bring your head just to a nice neutral position where you're not lifting the head up, you're not dropping it down. It's just feeling very comfortable. And from there, you're going to turn your head right and left. A couple of times. And then from the center, see if you could lift your head up. Be mindful always of the lift up and down, because you don't want to crunch the neck too much. And then look to the front again. Good. Now we're going to press ourselves carefully back, and we're going to try to lift the toes on this foot. So use your blocks or don't use your blocks. If you are, walk them back. Adjust your heel, and now stretch the hamstring, the back of your leg. And you might feel, oh, that's a big stretch there, and your hip may have come forwards on that leg. So you want to try and shift the right leg of the front, or whichever leg you've got forwards, back, so that this hip is also facing forwards if possible. And then lift your chest up, lift your head a little. Not too much so you really smush into it, but just a little. And then see if you can bow down over that leg. How far can you come down to the floor? So if you can take your hands all the way down, you may feel like your back's doing this. So you want to try and reach your belly forwards to your knee, head to your foot. And breathe. Take a deeper breath in. A little bit of a lift, and then down you go. Did you feel that stretch? And just take your time here. See if you can loosen up a little bit. Good. And then as we breathe in, let's shift forwards to this forward lunge here, and then back to the hamstring stretch. I'll do that again twice more. Look forwards, inhaling, shoulders shift back. Exhale, they're going to come forwards a little as you come down the head. One more, inhale, and exhale. Now we've got to get out of this position, so just however you can without causing yourself to strain as you do this. You might want to come up a little higher if you've got your blocks, slide the leg back to meet the other leg, and up you go. You may feel a little different on that side because you stretched this a little and this and the back of the legs. It's all sort of working front and back and a little bit into the sides as you do this. So let's step the other leg forwards. See where you want to situate the foot. My toes are flat to the ground, and shift your weight forward. So again, that may be enough for some of you. Others, you're going to come further forwards. Try to keep this nice right angle with your knee. So wiggle the foot forwards as you become more flexible. Because you press your chest away, or use your blocks, those of you that need them. And again, let's keep our shoulders down and just turn our head side to side a couple of times. From the center, with your head centered, just bring your chin up a little and your chest rises and your chin down, and maybe you draw your belly in this time. Again, inhale and exhale. And then just bring your neutral gaze straight ahead, and could you shift a little further forwards? Could you wiggle that leg back a little? Where can you go with this? Breathe. If you like, a little deeper. Hands may come to the floor. Lengthen your back still. And now let's shift back to stretch the hamstring, the back of your leg. So if you're using your blocks, you're going to take them back a little to help out here. Press yourself back. Wiggle the heel forward so you can get your toes up. Hopefully get your toes up. Try not to sit back onto the heel because you might lose a little bit of the stretch in the hamstring if you do that. So keep your hip over, I guess, this knee here. And then think about lengthening the torso and bowing down over that leg. So, where can you place your hands without straining? We are trying to avoid the back being really rounded right now. We're trying to lengthen the back. I'm going to bring the chin down, look down at this leg. If that's where you want to go, you want to be looking in that direction, and breathe a little bit deeper in and out a few times. See if your body begins to surrender as you lower your body down. Easier said than done sometimes, I know. And again. One more time. Always back off if it's getting a little bit too much. Go deeper if it's not enough. Good. Okay, so we're going to come back, up, bending this knee. Maybe move your foot back. Find that lunge again. Lift your heart. See how that feels. Is it a little easier this time? Find where that foot is or knee is in comparison to that heel. And you have to come out of this now. So press yourself carefully back. Could you slide your foot back, or do you need to lift up to do that? And then bring that knee back as gracefully as you can. Okay. All right, let's just take our hands to the floor, tuck our toes, and do a forward fold. So you're going to lift your bottoms. You're going to walk your feet in a little. Come up onto your fingertips. Draw those feet closer. Bring your hands back. Bend your knees if you can't get your hands on the floor. And let's hold onto the elbows. And look at your feet. Do you want them about hip width apart, or maybe 2 fist distance apart here? Sometimes that's a good judge of that distance. You know how wide your hips are roughly. And then hold on to your elbows and let's just hang down. As I said, knees slightly bent for some of us, a lot for some of us, straight for some of us. And as we hang down, it's often tempting to reach back into the heels and press the bottom backwards. So those of you that feel like this is something you can do, could you shift the weight forwards a little more to the balls of the feet as well as the heels? Just try and keep your toes pretty light on the ground as you hang down. Stretch your back. Gravity helping us here. Stretch the legs. Breathe. Move your head. You don't want to feel too rigid. Good. Release your elbows. And then look forwards as you bend your knees a little more. Walk your hands out. And this might be as far as you like to go, but if you want to do a downward dog, step your feet back. So you're on this sort of triangle shape here now, from hands to toes, and up through the center of your body. So there's your nice triangle shape here. In your downward dog, and let's pedal out. So we're spreading the fingers and the thumbs, and pedaling out those legs. We're stretching the legs and the back and strengthening the arms. Be careful of shoulders if you have shoulder problems. And can we lower the heels towards the ground with a little knee bend? Press the floor away from yourself. Lift your hips. Good. Lengthen as much as you can. So it might be a little bit, it might be a lot today. Breathe a little deeper. Feel your belly stretching. Shift a little right and left, and then let's see if we can become still for 3 breaths. So here we go. Inhale 1. Exhale, naturally see if you lengthen without a lot of fidgeting. Inhale 2. Exhale, there's a slight shift back and up with the hips. Inhale 3. Maybe you can feel those heels naturally sinking. Give it a little bit of a push, but you're just trying not to fidget, fidget, fidget. And then we'll gently come back down to our knees. So shift a little forwards, lower the knees, sit yourself back. If you're able to, with your bottom all the way down and your legs aren't feeling too tight here, sit to your heels. And you Give your wrists and our hands a little bit of a shake out, your fingers. They may feel a bit stiff. Press them forwards. Circle them. Turn the other way. Move them. You're going to come down onto our back, so bring yourself around onto your bottoms, and you can go straight down onto your back if you like, but those of you who want just do a little bit of core strength work here, we're going to plant our feet nice and firmly to the ground, a little bit apart, knees bent. We're going to make a C-shaped curve with the back, so you're going to draw your belly in and move your spine backwards as you lean back a little, so it's just sort of scooping out your belly. Hold your legs for a little support there. And if you feel like you can, just release the hands and maybe lower down a little bit more. You're going to have to just adjust your feet as to how you feel right for you. And then go down a little bit more where you feel like you're really having to work your stomach. Even if you have your elbows on the ground, I'm really pulling my belly in there. Keep your chin in a comfortable position and slowly begin to release yourself down to the floor. I'm not really pulling on my legs here. I'm going nice and slowly. I'm going to release my elbows when I feel like that's enough. And then I'm going to put my back down, my head down, and really then enjoy the feeling of the neck relaxing. Take your legs out all the way stretched. If you're able to, bring your arms overhead and take a nice full body stretch. So lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And exhale. Let go. Do that again, lengthening the body, point your toes perhaps this time, and exhale, release. Maybe flex your feet this time. Lengthen. So you inhale, exhale. Let your elbows relax, your shoulders soften, your toes and feet and legs relax. Bring your arms down, and then you're going to walk your feet back. You're going to pop your hips one way and roll your knees the other way. Finishing with a twist here. So as your knees roll over to this side, you may feel like your ribs are pulling up and your back's pulling up. So you just want to think about those ribs releasing back this way as your knees go that way. So you can always help yourself out with a hand on each part here, on the ribs, on the top thigh, towards the knee. And as you exhale, so you feel like you're just separating the two away from one another to stretch. You may just feel like, I just want to lay like this and stretch and relax. So sometimes if your knees are too low, it might feel a little uncomfortable. Too high, it might feel like, oh, that doesn't feel right. So you've got to find the right place. Close your eyes. Breathe in. And then lift your knees up. If you want to open your eyes, you can, or keep them closed. Inhale them up. So we'll do the same to the other side. So I like to do just a little bit of a shift over with the hips one way. So just feel like you're off a line. You're not aligned. But as you take your knees over, then the spine sort of becomes more aligned again. And just shift what feels right. Adjust this distance, the height of the knees for what's going on with your back, your hips. And if you like, the hands, top thigh to the knee, one on the rib cage. Just give it a little gentle separation of the two as you exhale from one another. Turn your head away from the knees. Take a slightly deeper breath in and feel that length and stretch as you exhale. And maybe just release those arms. And just hold that twist for a moment. Breathing into that, adding as much sort of stretch as you feel is right. So sometimes you just want to be very, very still and less fidgety. And as we come out of this, let's roll the head back to center and think of the breath helping to lift the knees. So inhale, pick those knees up. You do one at a time or both together. Bring the hips back to center. Adjust your back, your head, and you're going to feel like you're very centered in the mat. Put your hands to your belly. And then if your back does feel okay, extend your legs out. But if you prefer to keep the knees bent, I would let the knees turn in a little
heels out, toes in, so that you don't feel like you're trying to hold the legs up. You just, they just sink in together and you feel like you can relax. Otherwise, just now you're turning your legs out as you take them out all the way along the floor. And you have this little bit of an opening. You want to see, like, see, I was crooked on my mat. I like to be nice and square on my neck. I just feel like it helps me feel more aligned. When I know I'm even on my mat, then I feel like my body has a better opportunity to be aligned. So arms can go out if you like, palms up, fingers gently curling in, thumbs curling in. Relaxing now to the floor. Allow the floor to support you. Let your toes and feet and legs relax. Moving up into your hips, groins and buttock muscles, relax. Relax your belly, ribs and chest. Relax your back, your spine, between the shoulder blades, across the collarbones. And relax your shoulders, down into the arms, hands, fingers and thumbs. Relax your throat and your neck. Relax your jaw, cheeks, temples and brow. Relax your eyes, nose and mouth. Relax your ears and your skull. Breathing gently in, breathing gently out. Feel the breath in the nose and throat. And perhaps observe any sounds around you. And then come back to yourself on your mat. As you breathe in again, see if you can hear your breath as you inhale and exhale. So often there's sounds that may be distracting around us. And so sometimes it's helpful to observe them and then perhaps come back to the breath. And the same as if your mind wanders off into a thought. That's okay, just observe for a moment. And then perhaps come back to your breath. Just breathe enough so that you can slightly hear the breath. You might make a slight wave-like sound. Breathe and relax. Couple more moments, letting go. And But if you'd like to stay a little longer in Shavasana, your relaxation pose, and just stay here. But if you're ready to come up, gently begin to wiggle your toes, your fingers and thumbs, and then your legs and arms, belly and back. Deeper breath in. Maybe exhale with a sigh. Bend the knees, bring the feet. Open the eyes and the nose. Adjust your back. And bring your knees into your belly or your maybe a little wider out to your shoulders. Rock a little. And before you rush up, think, would it be better if I rolled over to one side to come up? Or am I able to rock back and forwards to come up? I like to roll to the side. Not to disturb all that good work we just done. So, as we come over, maybe bring your arm out, mind your shoulder. And then you can use your hand to help press yourself back up again. Finishing where you began. So maybe your feet were together, maybe they were crossed, maybe other leg in front if you don't normally put that one in front. Roll your shoulders back, soften your eyelids, turn your palms up if you like, thumb and finger together, and just feel that connection, bringing your energy together with all that's around you. Breathing gently in, breathing gently out. Sighing out if you like. And then bring your palms together in front of your belly. Your thumbs to your heart. Just lower your head a little. Thanking yourself for your practice. And have a wonderful rest of your evening or your day. And I will see you next time. Thank you.